Revolut. Let's dig deep.
On March 11th, 2026, 14 days before this research was conducted, Revolut received its full UK banking licence. For the previous 9 years, while it grew to around 9 million UK customers, Revolut was not a bank. It was an e-money institution. Your deposits were not protected by the Financial Services Compensation Scheme. If Revolut had failed at any point during those 9 years, UK customers had no government-backed guarantee. That risk is now resolved. What isn't resolved is the rest. A €3.5 million fine from Lithuanian regulators for anti-money laundering failures. An audit that found 75% of revenue unverifiable. A workplace culture investigation that described employee suicides linked to extreme pressure. And a $75 billion valuation that makes it the most valuable private fintech company in Europe. Revolut was founded in 2015 by Nick Storonsky and Vlad Yatsenko. Storonsky is Russian-born, trained as a physicist at the Moscow Institute of Physics and Technology, and worked as a trader at Lehman Brothers and Credit Suisse. His founding insight for Revolut was personal and financial. As someone who frequently transacted in multiple currencies, he was paying enormous fees hidden inside exchange rates. The 3 to 4% spread that banks charged on every foreign currency transaction was invisible to most customers. Revolut launched as a card that converted at the interbank rate, effectively eliminating that hidden cost. Storonsky holds roughly 20% of Revolut. At the current valuation, that stake is worth approximately $15 billion. Unlike Monzo and Starling, which focused on building UK bank accounts, Revolut immediately aimed to be a global financial super app. Banking, currency exchange, crypto trading, stock investing, travel booking, insurance. 50 million customers across the world by 2025, valued at $33 billion in 2021, then $75 billion by 2025 on secondary markets, making it the most valuable private fintech company in Europe. Profit hit $1.8 billion in 2024. The company is targeting $9 billion in revenue and $3.5 billion in profit for 2026. A Lithuanian banking license from 2018 provided EU banking capabilities, but the UK remained an e-money institution until 14 days ago. The banking license application went in during 2021. That same year, auditor BDO qualified Revolut's accounts. Roughly £477 million in revenue, about 75% of the total, could not be fully verified. The IT systems and internal controls around foreign exchange and subscription revenue weren't sufficient for the auditor to confirm the numbers. That qualification is the primary reason the license took 5 years rather than the typical 2. BDO gave an unqualified opinion on the 2022 accounts, confirming the issues had been resolved. No fraud was alleged. But the delay cost Revolut years of operating without the deposit protection that Monzo and Starling customers had from the start. What Revolut does better than any other UK neobank is foreign exchange. The free account gives you £1,000 a month converted at the interbank rate. The premium tiers remove that limit entirely. For anyone who regularly sends money abroad, travels frequently, or earns in multiple currencies, nothing else in the UK market comes close. The product range is the broadest of any neobank in this series. Over 200 cryptocurrencies for trading and holding. Stock trading across US, UK, and European markets. Multi-currency accounts in over 50 currencies. The tiered subscription model runs from free up to ultra at £55 a month. The savings rates scale with the tier. 3% on the free account, 3.25 on premium, 3.51 on metal, and 4.5% on Ultra for balances up to 200,000. That Ultra rate is the highest lump sum savings rate in this series, but the subscription costs £660 a year. For large balances, the maths works. For smaller balances, Starling's free 3.25% is better value. The crypto fees sit at 1.5% to 2% per transaction, which is higher than dedicated exchanges, but convenient for someone who wants everything in one app. Crypto holdings are explicitly not covered by deposit protection. Over 1 million businesses use Revolut for multi-currency accounts, international transfers, and team expense management. A separate FCA and National Crime Agency probe into suspicious transactions in 2023 was closed with no enforcement action and no fine. With the banking license now granted, UK deposits are protected by the Financial Services Compensation Scheme up to £85,000. New accounts opened from March 2026 cite under the banking licence. Existing customers are transitioning over time. If you opened your account before March, check whether yours has moved to the new framework yet. The anti-money laundering fine came from Lithuania, where Revolut holds its EU banking licence. €3.5 million in April 2025, the largest fintech fine in Lithuanian regulatory history. Inadequate monitoring systems, suspicious transactions not properly identified or reported. The same pattern as Monzo and Starling, just through a different regulator. Proportionally smaller relative to Revolut's revenue, but the underlying failure is the same. Growth outpacing compliance. The account freeze pattern is aggressive. A customer deposited nearly €10,000 in sports betting winnings and was told the review would take 7 days. After 13 days, it was still unresolved. Another customer had their account closed by an automated system, despite providing payslips and tax returns showing income was double the account turnover under review. No human override. A third customer sold an in-game item for under £300, had all funds frozen, and watched Revolut refund the buyer automatically, reversing the sale entirely. The Financial Ombudsman ordered Revolut to pay roughly £3,000 to a customer whose unauthorised transactions Revolut had initially refused to refund. Revolut's complaint upheld rate at the Ombudsman sits at around 5%, which is higher than Monzo and Starling, reflecting the volume and complexity of complaints generated by the broader product range and the aggressive automated systems. Then there's the workplace culture. In 2019, Wired published an investigation describing Revolut as one of the most toxic workplaces in fintech. Extreme performance pressure, a culture of fear around targets. Employees describing practices that they said contributed to severe mental health crises, including suicides. Revolut contested some characterizations, but the investigation remains one of the most cited workplace culture reports in UK fintech history. Storonsky's Russian background has generated concern since the invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Revolut has been explicit that neither founder has business ties to Russia that create conflicts, and the regulators evidently satisfied themselves on the point. The license was granted. Revolut is the right choice if you need a financial super app. Foreign exchange at the interbank rate, crypto, stocks, multi-currency accounts, and international transfers in one place. Nothing else in the UK neobank market offers that breadth. Monzo has the better personal banking app, Starling has the better business account, and the free current account interest. But neither offers the international financial toolkit that Revolut does. For frequent travelers, international workers, and crypto users, the value proposition is real and has been since 2015. The banking license changes everything and nothing at the same time. Your deposits are now protected. That's a fundamental improvement. But the account freeze pattern, the automated closures, and the AML fine reflect the same operational challenges that existed before the license arrived. A banking license doesn't change how the company handles a €10,000 review or an automated account closure. The warning that circulated in UK personal finance communities for years, "Don't use Revolut as your primary bank," is obsolete for new accounts opened from March 2026. Whether the community's caution updates as quickly as the regulatory status is another question entirely. The Which survey puts Revolut at around 70 to 80% satisfaction, below Monzo and Starling's 85%, but above the traditional banks. Revolut is finally a proper bank. The question now is whether it behaves like one. Every choice is a trade-off. At least now you know what you're trading.